And she didn't need no man to do it. She did it by herself, and it's like, I respect that.
It's respectable, yeah.
It's respectable.
For sure. Now, babe, let me ask you. Okay, maybe that came out wrong.
That's okay. No. I
promise you. Straight facts. Back at it again. You already know Soulful in the cut.
Yes, sir. And your boy Ace. We got the lovely Baëbe Ruth in the building.
What's good, y'all? Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming, Baëbe Ruth.
You already know.
Thanks for coming. I'd give you a solid nigga type handshake.
Hey! Come on now.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to speak with us today, Baëbe Ruth, okay? So first, can you share a bit about, your upbringing in OTT and how you came about to be an artist?
Yeah, of course. So I used to live in Ottawa, and then I moved over to Gatineau. So I'm actually located in Gatineau.
You got no shorty?
Yo, we're not talking about that.
It's alright.
We're not talking about that.
Keep going.
But yeah, so right now I'm located in Gatineau. And I started recording mostly, primarily in Ottawa. I started recording at the Cave Studios, which was like my first, I guess you could say my first appearance within the music scene. And it was great. You know what? I love the Cave so much. LJ, Sarju, they've always been supporting me.
Give you shout outs.
So much love to you guys. I really do appreciate you guys. And that's when I started.
And where's that studio located in Ottawa?
So they actually moved locations. They moved to a different location, but it's in Nepean. Same location, still in Nepean. It's about 10 minutes from there.
Right.
You guys can search them up on Google. Shout out to them. Search up the Cave Recording Studios. They're gonna get you right. But yeah, that's where I started recording. And you know what? When I started recording, it was more like freestyles. I was going up against like some friends of friends. We were just in the studio having a great time. So it wasn't nothing serious. And that was, I said back in 2018, but actually back in 2017. But I wasn't recording like any like tracks of my own per se. And then the first time I recorded a track was in 2018. The real ones know No Breaks. Check it out. It's only on SoundCloud exclusively.
Right.
And from there I started recording, and you know what? I feel like I always had a love for music, but I really fell in love with it after hearing my voice on a recording at the Cave. I'm like, this is different. Wow. This is not you take your phone and you record it.
Right, no voice note over here.
No voice note. This was not.
So you went straight from like the shower to the studio, correct?
Exactly.
Studio,
Exactly. It went from like singing in Void House to singing in the studio.
Right.
In the studio. That was different. Okay. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can actually do this. And you know what? Unfortunately, I didn't start actually taking it seriously up until 2 years ago.
Right.
But I think that was definitely like the first milestone, was like actually recording that first track. And then, releasing it, and then people being like, oh my God, like you actually
have a talent for it.
You have a talent for it. And for me, it's like, oh, I'm doing this for fun, because I love music. I love everything music. But for me, I didn't see it like that. And then people are like, no, like, you can do this. You can put yourself out there.
Makes sense.
That's how everything started.
How did you come up with your name?
Oh, okay. A whole baseball player. Okay, I'm not even into baseball like that.
No affiliation at all to MLB?
No affiliation. No. I promise you. Basically, what it is when I was younger, people used to refer to me as like Baëbe Ruth. You guys know the chocolate like Baëbe Ruth? That's how it started.
Is your real name Ruth?
No, we're not gonna get to know government.
No gubbies. No gubbies. Alright.
If you know.
I thought I was an R&B artist, but okay.
It might be. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. But if you know, you know. But actually, it's just because people used to call me like Baëbe Ruth as a joke, because part of my name has Ruth in it.
Right.
And they used to say Baëbe Ruth, so I'm like, hold the Y. Why? You don't have to know. But I just put Baëbe Ruth, and I'm like, you know what? I can't be called Baëbe Ruth because there's a baseball player named Baëbe Ruth. I'm like, let me put something original. Let me add an E.
Yes.
And the people are gonna come from me in the comments saying, what are the two dots on it? I know I should know what it's called. Don't come for me. I don't know what it's called. I'm being honest.
My goodness.
I don't know, but it looks like a diamond, shining bright like a diamond. So
yeah.
That's what I was.
I mean, as long as the people type BAEBE.
It's gonna pop up.
Ruth.
Yeah, you're good. It's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
It's gonna pop up. So I was like, you know what? Let me do that. You know, you have the E, and then it kind of looks like a ring, shining, glistening, all pretty.
Very descriptive at sale, you Baëbe Ruth. On the same note here, let me ask you, which artists and which album have had the most impact on your life?
You know what? Straight off the dome.
Straight off the dome right now. J. Cole.
J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Hands down.
Right now.
Lights, please. Lights, please.
Oh, turn off the lights.
For now,
hey.
just see so right.
Hey.
And how you make the darkness see so bright.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like this. Be alright. Lights, please.
Light.
Turn off the lights. Oh, don't get me started.
Oh, shit. God damn it. Yo.
Friday Night Lights. Slept on.
You know J. Cole was in Ottawa a few weeks ago for the CEBL
you know what? Don't
finals.
tell me that. Don't tell me that. You want me to cry?
Well, I don't know. Maybe y'all should connect for a
You
feature.
should be aware, you know? We gotta let you know.
You know what? I was aware. People told me, they're like, oh, you know, he's in town. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go see him. Did I go see him?
How'd that go? No?
No, I'm horrible. I didn't go see him.
You're not horrible. You just keep it real.
I'm not horrible, but it went horrible because I didn't get to see him. And like, that's an artist that I definitely look up to.
Right.
And I'd say more in terms because it's like, he actually talks about real stuff, you know? Like real problems. And it doesn't, you know what the thing is that it doesn't even have to be about like his own problems. Like, he can be speaking for a friend on experiences, relatable stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like that definitely influenced my music. I'm like, I want to talk about like relatable stuff.
And is there an album in particular from J. Cole that hit you, or
yeah,
overall is his music?
The OG, Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night
100%.
Lights. Yeah.
I love it. Like, I don't know, there's just something different about it. Like, I know everybody's talking about his new releases, and I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, I do find that there are a lot of tracks that I have on repeat that are from like his older albums. Meek Mill as well, he's crazy, dope artist.
Mill.
And then, you know, my female artist, Janae Akel, you know.
Janae?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love her too.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys heard of the artist, but Leighton Green. She's more of like a new upcoming artist, but I feel like she definitely deserves flowers. Like, I read a lot about her bio. She's been through a lot of stuff, and her voice is so beautiful, and just everything that she speaks about in it, she really puts her heart in it. So those are the type of artists that I really like to look up to. It's like artists that really talk about relatable stuff for one, and then they really put the heart into it. It's like, it's not just for the clout, it's not just for the fame. It's like, nah, they really came up with it, and they really did put their heart into it. And it's like, you don't even care. You don't care what people are saying.
Essentially, like, it's storytelling, right? They're painting a picture.
Yeah, they're painting a picture. And you know what? For me, it's all about the bigger picture. It's like, not just what you see is what you get, but it's like what's behind closed doors.
None of that fake shit.
None of that fake shit.
You're not bumping no Slim Jesus over there.
No.
It's like Slim Jesus, J. Cole.
All due respect, but you know, I think we definitely all have our favorite artists that we like and that we look up to, and for our own specific reasons, and those are my specific reasons. So, yeah.
Very good.
Talk to me about your first song. Talk to me about your your creative process about making a song.
Oh,
Tell us about that.
How'd that go? How'd that go?
The first
Take your time. We want to know.
The first time, I had a friend of a friend that reached out to me over Snapchat. I promise you this is part of the story. I'm not just saying it to say it, but I posted a little snippet of me singing, and they said, hey, like, you really have potential, like, your voice is actually dope, like, do you record? I'm like, nah, I don't record. And it was actually Polo that had reached out to me and said that. So you should definitely record. I'm like, okay, you know, he helped me.
Talk about DJ Polo?
No, Polo. He's from the South End.
Yeah.
Much respect to him. And I'm like, no, I don't record. So, you know, he ended up getting me in contact with The Cave. And then he got me in contact with one of his friends, which was Gigi Chevy. And then after, they were like, okay, how about you guys get on a track together? You know, he makes music. You haven't started recording yet. It would be like a dope opportunity for you. So I'm like, okay. So I was looking for beats on YouTube. I was searching classic, low and high. I found this one beat.
You can find gems on YouTube.
Yeah. You really can.
Yeah, there's a lot of beats.
I found this one beat and I'm like, oh, this is it. This is it. Ended up doing a feature, and my first track, I wrote So it wasn't like on no freestyle tip, but I just wrote. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like this is gonna sound dope. We recorded it. He ended up coming to the studio. It sounded dope. I'm like, yeah, this is it.
Right.
To add to what you were just saying, like you were just writing.
Yeah.
What do you prefer doing as an artist? Do you prefer writing? Do you prefer performing? Like, which part of the process do you like the most?
That's a good question. You see, I feel like my best songs come from when I'm kind of like recording on the spot. That's not to say like freestyle, because it's like, I know artists that really do that. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and cap like, oh, that I do freestyles, but there have been times where it's like, and I'm sure a lot of artists can relate to this, where it's like you do certain freestyles at certain times, whether it's like you're off the juice or you're just really inspired in that moment. That's how I create my best tracks. Is like when I'm in the studio, I have nothing written yet, but like I'm just kind of going off the dome, and then I start like writing down what comes to mind. So it's like I'll freestyle something, and I'm like, yeah, that's fire. I have to write that down. I have to record that, and that's been my process as of lately. And even when I started out, through my first track, yeah, I wrote it, but then my second track, you know, I just started writing as I went along, and I'm like, this works great for me. And you know, for certain artists, it doesn't work that great for them. Like they prefer to write before they go. Right. They just freestyle everything on spot. They don't have to write anything down. But me, I'm kind of like, I do both. Yeah. I write, I freestyle, I write. Right. I take my time with it, and I record what I find really like fits and what I think sounds best.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any key non-musical influencers that have impacted your music overall?
Non-musical influences? Yeah, my family.
Yeah? Speak on it.
I have a lot of love for my family. Of course, not to get too much into it. I do respect people's privacy, and I'm a little bit more of like a private person. I'll give you the surface, but I won't go deeper than that. Just because, you know, some people don't want to know about certain things. They don't want you sharing certain things. But, you know, I think everybody has their own story, their own come up. It wasn't easy coming up. Seen a lot of things. And my mom is a great inspiration for me.
Shout out to mamas. Shout out to all the mamas, of course.
It's her birthday today, actually.
Oh, happy birthday, mama! At the time of this recording, right?
At the time of this recording, August 22nd. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like she definitely has inspired me a lot, and to be the woman that I am today. I still have a lot of learning, a lot of growing to do, but so far I think I'm on the right track. I'm on an okay track, and I do salute my mom for that, because she's so hardworking. And it's like anything that I want to acquire, anything that I want to, you know, put my head to, I know I can do it because I seen my mom do it. I seen my mom do it with 5 kids. You know, she always hustled, she always kept her head down, and she just worked, and she got what she needed, you know.
She got it done.
And she got it done. And she didn't need no man to do it. She did it by herself, and it's like, I respect that.
It's respectable, yeah.
It's respectable.
For sure. Now, babe, let me ask you. Okay, maybe that came out wrong.
That's okay. No. I promise you. Everybody.
The liberals are like, you're objecting.
He's not objective.
Not an object.
Yeah.
Anyways, Baëbe Ruth, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Some artists want money, right? Some artists want fame. Others just want to express themselves.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to become an artist?
To express myself right off the bat. You know what? I could care less about the fame shit, if I'm being quite honest with you, because it's like, fame to me, you want that recognition, and I do get it comes with its benefits. It comes with, you know, the perks of getting paid, and you get paid nice.
You don't want to be famous?
It would be nice, but I don't want to say that that's my goal in life. It's like everything that I do, I want it to be from here. I want it to be from the heart, because it's like I can't move with no, how can I even say this? I don't want to be moving with no negative intentions, with no fake intentions.
Oh, you're preaching right there.
It's like everything that I do, I really want it to be on some real intentions, because I feel like we're having less and less of that, and it's more me, myself, and I. The way that I move for my people. I move for getting shit done for the ones that surround me, for my team, for my family, for my friends, for the ones that I know that it was really hard for them to come up. So it's like, when I think of music in regards, yes, it's beautiful to express yourself, you know, and you talk about your experiences, and yes, that's my outlet. But when I think about music, it's more about, you know, speaking for the ones that can't really speak. They don't have that platform to do so. And yeah, it would be nice to provide for my family and for my loved ones. But honestly, I do it from the heart. I want to release stuff that's relatable. I've lost a lot of people, and I'm not gonna get into it, you know, whether it's this, that. I've lost a lot of people, and it's like, I feel like there needs to be more relatable music out there. I feel like a lot of the music, if I'm being quite honest with you, even within the city, and much respect to all the artists out there, because it's fire. I can't even lie. But a lot of it is for clout. It's for chasing fame. It's all for the wrong reasons. And I feel like you succeed best when it's really pure intentions and it's coming from the heart. And you really do it for a better cause. And God sees that. And He honors that. And that's what I believe.
I hear you. Now, on the same train of thought, like, what would you say sets you apart from other artists, right, within your genre?
I'm very humble in the sense where I don't think of myself better than the next artist. But I think what sets me apart is I try to speak from the heart in all that I do, which is kind of weird because I'm not like a very emotional person in a sense. Like, I'll only get to a certain level. I don't go deeper than that. But I think what sets me apart is, you know, I definitely do try to speak from the heart, whether I'm, you know, dipping into R&B or into rap, into hip hop, you name it. I do try to speak from the heart, and I try to draw experiences. And also, you know what's another thing? Even though I have like these artists that I look up to, and I think that, I'm so sorry, I think that they're dope.
Drop the sauce.
Yeah, real sauce.
You know what's crazy? You asked me, what's music that you listen to most? A lot of the times I can't even think of songs, because I actually don't be listening to that much music that you think that I'd be listening to. Because I think it actually influences your style and your genre. I want mine to be authentic and to be pure. And I don't want it to be influenced from the next artist. It's like, I can have respect for an artist, I love their music, but I'm not gonna try to replicate their style. And I think that's what sets me apart, is like, I'm not trying to be the next J. Cole. As much as I love J. Cole, like, he's his artist in his own lane, and I know I can never be a J. Cole.
There's only one J. Cole.
There's only one of you. That's for everybody. There's only one of one. So it's like, we really are one of one. It's like, there's no other you out there. Why would I want to be the next person? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how I look at things, and I think that that's what sets me apart. I think it also has to do a lot with your mentality. You know?
That's big facts.
Woo, she's preaching out here.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Mentality is everything, right?
I think it's that, but you know what? It comes with time. It comes with maturity. It comes with life experiences. It comes with trauma. It comes with pain. It's a lot of shit that you don't want to go through to get to that type of mentality. But I appreciate the process. I'm trusting the process, and I'm here right now with you guys.
You are here, Baëbe Ruth. You are here.
You have to go through it.
You have to go through it.
Definitely. It builds you up as a person.
It builds character.
And you know what, you spoke a lot about, you know, being humble and whatnot. How do you handle criticism? How do you handle negative criticism?
I didn't used to take it very well. I feel like when I used to hear criticism, I take it personally. And I used to take it,
used to call them bitch ass niggas.
Yeah.
Haters.
I get pressed, you know, like I could tell you to your face, I'll give you a nice story. And I'm like, oh, that's how you feel? Oh, okay, you know what, I can change that.
But you know what the great French Montana said, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, nigga.
Okay.
So it's good.
That's good.
I
know that's right.
Yeah, just letting you know.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't used to handle it well. I used to be very, very, how can I even say this?
Not open to criticism.
Not insecure. Insecure. It's like when you were telling me, if you told me something like, oh, Baëbe Ruth, you know, I feel like you could do this better. I'm like, wow, so you think I'm not even doing this right now?
So it was more so a personal attack.
It was personal. And I took it personal. But you know what? you have to learn not to take things personal. Some people, yes, they will tell you things to try to bring you down, but some people genuinely do have love for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just, you know, you go through things and it's like you think everybody's out for you, out to try to get you, to bring you down, but it's like, nah, there's some people that genuinely do care.
Yeah.
They still have good hearts out there, and they do want to see you succeed, and they want to see you, you know,
flourish.
Shine, little pressure. So now I do respond a lot differently. Sometimes I do have to take a moment and be like, oh, it's not personal. You know, take that, try to see how you can grow from that. Don't take it personally. And if you do take it personally in the best way possible. Like, grow from it, like, apply that shit. You know, so now when I hear things from certain people, I'm like, okay, does this match what this person is saying? Like, maybe multiple people are saying it. That's a sign that it's like, okay, it's fact.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, yo, you know what?
10 people tell you essentially the same thing.
10 people tell me, yeah, and it can be about whatever, you know? And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna try to, you know, keep mind of that and change that.
So is it a maturity thing essentially that like helped you change that part?
Yeah. It's a maturity thing because, you know, with life experience, I just, what can I say? It's just like one day you just realize, you're like, okay, you're actually speaking facts. You know, I've been through this, that. I've had so many people tell me kind of the same thing. I can see what you're saying is facts.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a maturity thing, and it's also like an experience thing. But with experience comes maturity, so yeah, it's maturity.
Big facts.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We talked about essentially negative, negative criticism. Now let's talk about the positive. What's the most important thing, the most important piece of advice that you've gotten from someone that you can say that was really detrimental to your music career?
That's a good question.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. That's why I'm taking a bit of a pause to really think, because I want to give you guys like a real answer. I don't want to say no phony shit, nothing fake, nothing made up. You know, like, oh, actually, there's this one time.
Action.
Look at my earring falling off. Let me just put this back in.
Time out. Earring is dropped.
Earring is dropped. No, you know what happened to me one time?
Zoom on that. Zoom on the earring getting back in there, please.
My earring popped off when I was performing one time.
Really? What happened?
I went, oh, and they are.
God damn it, she used the hair flip.
I went, and they are. It was good. I could feel it. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
But you know what? I heard it's probably from my past manager. She's not managing me no more. So much love for her. So much respect. Shout out to Mia. Mia Management. Hit her up.
Shout out to Mia.
Mia Management. I feel like, you know, she definitely understood me on like a personal level. In terms of like, you know, my insecurities, my different outlooks, and she's such a knowledgeable person, such a wise person, and she really said, you know, Baëbe Ruth.
Yes.
She was just like,
okay, I wasn't wrong.
She had to put it into context, but she's like, you know, Baëbe Ruth. She was just like, everything you do really has to be from here. And she was just like, that's what people relate to most. Like, don't care what other people think, don't care what other people say, but really like do what you feel is best. And she was just like, you know, whether you're in a certain stage in your life and you feel like that's where you are, like stay true to that. She said that might change, but it's like you do have to stay true to yourself. And that's the message that I got from that, is just staying true to yourself through all stages of life. You know, it's not like you're going to be in the same position every day, every year. You change, you're growing, you're evolving. And it's really just to stay true to yourself, and that even reflects in your music, you know, like the music that you record.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised J. Cole's one of your favorite artists.
Yeah, like take it as opportunity to make some dope ass music, some music that people haven't created before.
Right.
Don't be afraid to speak your mind. I think I've always been an artist to kind of hold back on what I feel because I'm afraid to hurt the next person's feelings about how I genuinely feel. But I realized, like, you know what? Music is my expression. That's the only way I actually get shit off of my chest. So take the opportunity to say how I feel. But doing it in a respectful manner where it's like you're speaking facts, but you're also taking into consideration, you know, there's people listening out there, you know. But speak your mind. Don't hold back on what you feel because, you know, time can pass like this.
That's it. If you got hate in your heart, fuck it, let it out.
Fuck it, let it out.
Like the great Dave Chappelle said, right?
Tomorrow's not promised, right? So it's like, I think you should say how you feel.
It is not promised at all.
Definitely not. So you gotta remain authentic to who you are, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly. Could not have said it better.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the internet's impact on the music industry? Right? We're talking about authenticity, but overall, right? Internet, music, what's your take on that?
I have a lot of different takes. I think that social media influences a lot of people more than we think subconsciously. And people aren't in tune with that. People don't think about that, but think about it.
It's a new media.
It's a new media. You're on your phone constantly. It's like you're going to bed 30 minutes prior to you even like knocking out.
Right.
You're scrolling, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook. I don't know what you do in your own privacy, but it's like subconsciously you're registering all these different things that you're seeing on social media. You know, speaking music-wise, there's a lot of different artists out there, and because of social media, there's much more exposure now. More people are able to record and release music ever than before.
Oh, yeah.
You know, before you really had to have the connects to do it. It's like you had to know A, Y, Z, you know, before you actually could record, before you could release. Or some people
do a demo.
You know, people was really out here passing out CDs. Shout out my brother. He was really out here passing out CDs. Whereas like now you can drop anything and people see it. Yeah. But you know what, when you post it, people are listening to it, and I feel like that influences people's sound. So people are like, damn, this artist is doing this, I need to do that too.
Now
that's the hype right now, I need to do that too.
Baëbe Ruth.
Yes.
The internet has been good to you though. Let's be very real. Okay, we've seen your songs still loading on Northern Bar, okay, on Spotify playlist. What do you feel are the best methods to promote your music?
Genuine interaction and networking.
Right.
Hands down. I've done promotions and things like that. Like I'm gonna keep it honest. Some people don't want to admit that, but it's like, how else are you supposed to get your stuff out there? You have to promote yourself. Like, come on, don't cap to the camera. Don't cap to people that's around you. You have to promote yourself, whether it's like your YouTube videos, you're doing ads, Instagram, ad promotions, but it's like you do have to get yourself out there.
You're doing all of that.
Yeah, I'm doing all of that. But it's like networking just brings this different type of connection. When you're able to really connect with people and speak to them like one-on-one, you're able to, one, learn more about them, learn more about that person, and what's their likes, their dislikes. And for me, I'm really for the people, so it's like, hey, even the more the merrier, you know. It's like, that's so much better for me because I can connect on a personal level too.
And you talked about networking. Sorry to cut you off, but
no worries.
Is it more like in person, on the DMs, maybe through your management team? I mean, have you connected with Toronto, which is, you know, Canada's mini New York, or have you, you know, contacted some artists on the DMs? Like, you know, like how do you use this internet? Like, and you know, like how do you actually network?
Like I said, social media has its upsides and its downsides. I can definitely like, you know, network with people, and that has come part of the promotions where people have seen me because of the promotions and they reach out to me. But networking in terms like I've gotten features with people because I networked, you know, like I networked, I went to, you know, a certain event, I got to know them, and then bam, I'm on a feature. And then, you know, then somebody discovers me that way because I was on a feature. You know, just like me being here tonight, you know what I mean? Like, you guys heard of me through the grapevine per se, through the next person, you know, whether it was a feature or an interview. It's like, yeah, promotions definitely help out in that way to really get you seen. But putting yourself out there personally and going to events and taking the time to travel and go out and invest your money.
Good old classic networking, right?
Good old classic networking. It does the job, I promise you. Like, start there. Go out, network, talk to people. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy.
And do you think that's what is missing in OT for artists to blow up?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people too. I don't know if it's anxiety or if it's more per se like they have this kind of persona where they think like they're better than the next person. So it's like, oh, I'm not going to talk to this person nah, for whatever reason it is, but it's like, nah, you actually have to get over that, and you have to start networking with people and start talking with people and start taking the time to get to know people. Because you know what I realized? Some of my most realest connections have been with people that I actually took the time, I sat down and I got to know them. Whether it's just their backstory, it doesn't have to be the full 9 yards, but I got to know them, I got to know their interests, their dislikes, I got to know, you know, what they do, their job. Little things like that mean a lot to a person.
Of course.
And I'm not saying I did that to like earn their support, but I was genuine about it. Like, I actually wanted to know, be genuine out here. Like, that's actually how you build like your best support base. I don't even like to refer to it as a fan base. I don't say that.
What do you refer to the fans as?
Supporters. And it's also like not just about the music, but it's about the person.
For sure.
Like, people forget that. Like, I think when you're an artist and you're in the music industry, and not to say that like I'm in the music industry, I'm popping like that. You know, God willing, one day.
You are in the music industry. You're on Spotify, on playlists and shit. Stop it. You're very humble.
Honestly, it really is about the person. People forget about the person and they just focus on like what you have to bring to the table. But me, in a sense, it's like, no, what do you have to bring as like a person? Everybody comes with their own personal experiences, with their own story. And to me, that's what matters, because it's like, that's also what I talk about in my music. I talk about personal experiences. I talk about things, you know, that directly affect me, because I do love to help out other people. And like I said, you know, we already touched basis on, you know, music that's relatable, but that's really what it is. It's just like really staying genuine to yourself. And that also comes with like admitting your faults, admitting shit that you don't want to admit.
It is very hard though.
Keeping it like a little bit vulnerable, right?
Of course, we're all vulnerable. Right?
That's a very challenging thing to do. Would you not say? Like, I mean, being vulnerable, admitting your wrongs, part of being, you know, woke or growing up.
Yeah, it's hard.
Just accepting your faults in that sense that, you know what I mean? You're not perfect.
Yeah.
Listen, there's always going to be another top dog. There's always going to be somebody else that has a good piece of advice to give you. And you know what? You got to see it in the sense that, like,
humble yourself.
Because you're already humble. You mentioned that. I didn't even say any of these ways. Because you're already humble, it makes the message so much easier to be received, right? So, in that sense, you got to be able to, like, take
over here you have to say straight facts.
Straight facts.
That's true. It is straight facts.
Nothing else.
Ain't nothing else. Now let me ask you, Baëbe Ruth, if you could collab with any artist, who would it be and why? We need justifications over here.
You guys do it like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my god, okay. Listen, I already told you guys J. Cole, huh?
I had a feeling you might have said J. Cole.
A team decision, you say J. Cole?
Hey, I don't know.
Use you. You are you. So.
J. Cole for sure.
Why is that?
Oh my god, he speaks facts. I love his bars, I love his flow, his delivery, just everything is top tier. There are a couple of artists, even like locally too, that I'm like,
go ahead and name them.
Hey, you know what? Okay, I already have a collab with her, but I'm gonna shout her out. Easy Finesse.
Okay.
Leah Cloud. Jiraiya.
Right.
But right now I'm naming female artists, huh?
And okay, so let me ask you, why would you want to collab with them? Is it because they're females?
No.
Why is that?
They're just straight fire, that's it.
So they all have their own talent.
They all have their own talent. They all bring something different to the table, and I respect that, because it's like, I was telling you guys, I'm like, oh, I don't like copying other artists. They have their own style, they have their own flow. I respect that.
100%.
I admire it. Yeah.
That's good. We need support locally.
So, new listener here, brand new, not familiar with your music. What would you recommend? What would be the first song you're like, you know what? You gotta listen to this one.
With what I have out right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you would send to the producer.
Y'all can't do that to me. I'm so sorry. I made that so hard.
Pressure's on.
On Me.
On Me?
Trying to level up for the team when it's on me.
Okay.
Why is that? Do you love that song?
I love that song. You know what? I think it's just really like, first of all, I have my girls on the track. I have Erica, I have Jasmine on the track. Those are my one of some of my best friends on the track. You hear them to say "and that's on me" at the end of the song.
right.
So Spotify, everything. You know what? In that track, I'm really talking about what I find is important to me, the people that I find important to me, and I really just talk about like the goal with all of this music is like I'm really trying to do this for my team. I'm trying to do this for my family, everybody that's been supporting me. That's why I find it it's a memorable track. I think of it off the dome when you guys ask me what's the song you guys should go listen to. Omni. That's it.
That's the one.
That's the one. That's the one.
I listened to your song Lifeline, okay, and it touches on a few topics, right?
Yeah.
Kind of deep, again, I see why you like J. Cole.
Yeah.
Let us know, where were you at in life, when you made that song?
Remember what had happened with George Floyd?
Yes.
During that time, that's when I made the track.
During the whole Black Lives Matter, hype?
Yeah, and I had went to the protest.
Oh, you have? In the one in Ottawa?
Yeah.
Have you been to more than one?
You know what? That was my first actual protest I have been to.
Right.
And it was a memorable one.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. Prior in the past, I used to get anxiety and I don't want to go alone. And it's like I could never find somebody to go with. I'm a lot better now. I'm my own person, and now I don't mind to go to different protests.
Did you go alone or?
No, this one I went with Erica, Jasmine.
Right.
You had a whole support group.
So then you were in your whole Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, but you know what? That's not just like one day out of the year. Like this is like an everyday thing. Like this is a mentality you have to have every day. Like Black Lives Matter every day. It's not just one day out of the week. It's not just one day out of the year just because something's happening. Like it's like, nah, like people have to start talking about this a lot more. It's like, you ever heard somebody say, and I think it's bullshit, all lives matter. But it's like all lives won't matter until Black Lives Matter. And that's
Bumble class, she dropped it. All right, guys, you heard it first. Brad Erics, we love y'all. But yeah, you're preaching out there,
that's just the fact.
All lives do matter, right? But you're right. Until Black lives will matter.
No, all lives matter.
There you go.
And I'm saying that in a sense where it's like how people are moving. And you know what? You can't tell me that like Canada doesn't have their own biases. They don't have their own prejudices, because there's still a lot of that. I think, you know what? It's always been around, but now that we have social media, you're seeing a lot more of it. And there's still a lot of things that we haven't seen.
There's a lot of subtle racism.
A lot of subtle, exactly. And you know what? And I have seen that. I have seen that with my mom, because my mom is of Jamaican descent. My mom is a black.
So you're mixed?
I am, yes.
You're classic light-skinned shorty?
I wouldn't say classic. This ain't no regular. Get it straight.
You have Jamaican, there's a lot of half Jamaicans out there.
It's true. Yeah. A lot of people think I'm Arab or Latina.
Yeah, at first, I would think maybe you kind of look like you're from Northern Africa there. But,
that's okay.
That is okay, and it kind of touches on, the whole Black Lives Matter, right? It's kind of like white people would just be a bunch of citizens from the world, right? And you're the example of that, right? Lifeline is a very touchy song, and I can see how the whole Black Lives Matter influenced you to do that song.
Yeah, of course there was a lot of more things leading up to it, but I just felt like at that point in time, it's like everything that had happened with George Floyd, it was like screaming in your face. I'm like, okay. It was a lot of built. Yeah, it was like a lot of built up anger, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to like speak on it.
Let it out.
Yeah, built up tension. I needed to let it out in a way that was therapeutic to me, and that was by recording a track.
It was either that or attack a white person.
Basically. I'll be attacking half of myself, but I'll be attacking.
I love all my Caucasians. All right, I was the white
people. Mind your business, just keep
okay. No, I'm here.
So, question for you. You've been doing this since 2018. What's the vision for your career, essentially? What do you have in stock? Like, what are you hoping to achieve with putting your message out there, essentially?
You know what? I would love to travel to reach different provinces, to reach different countries, and really spread my music out there. Not just for my own personal benefits, my own personal gain, but I really do want to get it out there in terms of spreading positive messages and things that really do matter. So being able to have the capability to travel when I want to different parts of the cities, different parts of countries, different things like that. I would love to do that. And I don't know if I had mentioned this or not, but you know, on the side I do my nursing, right? So it's like
you didn't mention that, no?
Imagine like I'm doing my nursing and I'm doing like Nurse Without Borders, right? So I get to travel. So on the days that I'm not performing,
you get to
put
your message out there.
Put my message out there, and then I also get to help people because I do love to do that, you know?
You know what? Let's speak on it. Because you're talking about music, you're talking about being a nurse. Those are two different things that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In light of it all, actually, it's a lot of positive energy out there. You got to think about it because being a nurse is not easy, right?
No, it's
my mom's a nurse, so like head nurse, so I already know. It's not easy stuff.
My mom was a nurse too, and my aunts were nurses too. And
shout out to Haitians.
Yeah, shout out to Haitians. Yes. I'm sure you've got a few colleagues that are Haitians, right?
Talk to me about your experience about being a nurse.
Well, just to put it on display out there. So I graduate as of April, but I think we're having our graduation in May. So I'm almost a nurse. But it's been great. You know, I take the good and the bad and I just mix them together, and I just say it's a great experience overall because it's like you learn through the bad experiences
for
too.
Sure.
You know, it's like you learn what works, what doesn't work. You learn how to interact with patients. You know, that's why we have this like class, like helping relationship class. You learn how to like communicate with patients,
building rapport.
Yeah. It's been dope though. I really do appreciate it, and I love to help out. So
that's amazing.
Nursing is a great way to
like you gotta think about
you know.
There's so much connection between you and that person. You know what I mean? They're trusting you, they're caring.
We need a lot of that in the
100%.
industry.
We could definitely appreciate that overall.
As the son of a you know mom that was a nurse, I could.
You guys both know.
The industry needs that caring nurses, right?
Especially nowadays with all the things that's happening in the hospitals.
You said caring nurses or caring?
No, caring nurses. I know there's a lot. That's very good. I can imagine patients, you know, that are waiting for services, and then you come and you're like, let me take care of you, and they're like, yay, come take care of me. All right, let's get it out. To conclude this interview, okay? Yeah. Can we know what you have in store regarding upcoming project releases, right?
Yeah,
and collaborations, right? What would you like to tell us?
Oh, you guys got. Oh, listen, you know what?
I heard there's a project coming out in the fall.
There is a project coming out. So this upcoming fall, I want to release a track called 5 a.m. somewhere. So be on the lookout for it. If you guys don't know, now you know.
Right.
And you guys can find me on social media. That's BAEBE RUTH Baëbe Ruth over all social platforms.
All platforms. You on TikTok?
I am on TikTok.
Oh, of course, you're on TikTok.
Of course. If you're not on TikTok, get with it. I don't know what you're doing. That's the new Kurrensy. It's TikTok.
And you know what time it is. That's Straight Fit Acts. Thanks, Baëbe Ruth, for coming today.
Yeah, we really.
It was an honor.
Thank you so much.
It was an honor.